Hello to all of the English students out there, online with the best place on the planet for learning a second language. We're talking about verbling.com, the Facebook of language learning online. This is Geoff Watson. I am from Vancouver, Canada, and I am very happy to be one of the English teachers for verbling.com, and I'm looking for a group of hardworking students who are going to join the class. The topic for this hour is Earth's energy. I am a big supporter of the idea of using clean, limitless, free energy for the world, and one form of that is wind power. And so I'm going to ask people questions about the potential for wind power in your country. Are there windy areas where they could build wind farms, or do you already have wind farms in your country? And do you do, or have you ever done, any activities that depend on the wind, like flying a kite, for example, or sailing in a sailboat? And so what I would like to ask is for everyone to please download the document right now. At the verbling.com website, if you find the information about this class, you will find a button labeled Class Materials. So please, if everyone could download the document that I have prepared for the class, you will be able to open it on your computer and clearly see the text, and you will be able to read it. Extra important, this class, to download the document. And while I'm waiting for people to join, I would like to turn on the screen share and show you the in all of the Verbling classes. We're asking the students to please click this button to turn on your microphone, and as soon as you're finished speaking, please click off, turn off your microphone. So you're clicking on and clicking off. And that way we eliminate all of the unpleasant background noise that comes from people. And so, as people are joining the class now, I would like to say hello and ask them where they are, so where they're from. So, Farhad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm your old student teacher. How are you today?
Good. One of my old favorites. I'm fine, thank you. Glad to be here. And so, please tell the group where you're from. And does your country have potential for wind power?
So I'm from Pakistan, and so our country, as we know that here is a lot of energy crisis in Pakistan. So that's why electricity is not present all the time. But our government are trying to do something. They are planning to improve it, but still, this is a unsolvable. This is a still unsolvable problem. And so, as per the wind energy, there is no such thing to get energy from the wind, energy,
wind?
but wind, wind.
Okay.
So,
no, well, great. I hope that the technology improves so that all the countries can use it. But do you think that there are windy places Does Pakistan have a coastline, an ocean coastline?
No, sorry, teacher. It's just I told you that there is no because we are very.
Okay, now you might have been muted there, Farhad. We've just lost your sound, so I'll come back to you. Wen, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. And so, could you please answer our wind power question? Where are you from, and could your country take advantage of wind power?
Yeah, my country is Vietnam. We have a very long coastline.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, we have a lot of wind, but the government just like started utilizing wind power. I think maybe several like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, right. Well, I
Yeah,
think
but
it's
we started.
new. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's just still new,
yeah. Yeah.
related to new. Yeah.
And did anyone use wind power before with on farms, or not necessarily to generate electricity, but maybe to pump water?
Actually,
Traditional
no.
windmills. Yeah.
No, because I think that we cannot uh, produce wind turbines at this moment. We have
Yeah.
to import from Germany.
Okay.
So all the how can I say, wind turbines are very expensive for us.
Yes. Right. And I think it's important to use the best technology with these sorts of things. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Great. And so, Armando, are you there? Hello, Armando. Armando Soto. Okay. And so, what I'm going to do is go back to Juan Manuel. Hello. Now, you need to turn on your microphone. And so, that's, yeah,
Hello.
clicking on the button. Yes, great. Where are you connecting from?
Argentina.
Okay, so we're talking about wind power. And so, has Argentina started to take advantage of using wind power to generate electricity?
I have no idea actually. Some places we use that kind of energy.
Yes, but not
not
where
in
you
all
live.
not in the whole country.
Yes, okay, all right. And are people talking about it, or do you know how most of the electricity is generated in Argentina?
We have an hydraulic building. I don't know how to
Okay, yeah, that's
describe.
hydroelectric
Hydroelectric.
powers. Yeah, okay.
And yes, we do have eolic wind
Wind.
energy.
Okay, all
Windmills,
right.
windmills, and
Sure.
some solar panels.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. So and Quinn, I think, has used the best word: wind turbines. Wind
Wind turbine.
turbines. Yeah. Windmills. I picture the older traditional windmills, maybe
Okay.
from Europe. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep saying hello to some people, and so Dem, are you there?
Hello, Mr. Geoff. Yes, sir.
Welcome. So please tell
Thanks.
us about the wind power potential of your country.
Um, Actually, here the energy is produced with hydroelectric. Uh, yeah.
Yes,
And
hydroelectric.
the mhm. This way, the wind energy is not produced here, as far as I know.
Okay, but could it be utilized? I mean, are there places? And please tell everyone where
Yeah.
you're connecting from.
I think that here that could be a good choice, a good alternative, because here are a lot of places where the wind is very powerful, no?
Okay. Yeah.
Has a, but does not. Actually, nowadays that's not that way. It's just the hydroelectric energy.
Yeah. No, no. Well, I think yeah, I think maybe hydroelectric power, hydroelectric energy is maybe the best form of energy, but if there's rain. All right, great. Thank you. And I'm going to move on
Oh, thanks.
to Slim.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, welcome. Where are you connecting from?
I'm connecting from Tunisia.
Okay. And so, how about your country? Is there potential for wind power, and has anyone
Yes,
taken advantage of that?
yes. I think 50% of energy produced for electricity is produced from wind turbine.
Really?
Power.
50 or 15?
15%. I said 50.
Ah, okay. No, no, sorry. What's the answer?
50.
5
15.
0. Oh, 15. Okay.
Yeah.
15%. All right, great. Well, that's good. That's good. And what other forms of energy do people use?
The most, I think, between 18% or more little fossil fuel like gas, natural gas or fuel.
Yes,
Uh,
maybe
and,
diesel fuel.
I think another 5% or more solar energy.
Okay, great. It's very interesting. Okay, thank you. And Tunisia has a coastline, ocean coastline.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right, great.
1,500 kilometers.
Okay, and it's windy.
Yeah, it's I think the wind it's not very windy. You know, Tunisia is not in the ocean. With there is the difference between the ocean and the sea, Mediterranean Sea. It's
Okay, it's
a little calm, a little.
yeah. There
I
would be a big difference.
do not
Yeah.
in the sea.
Great.
I,
Thank you. All
I
right.
need
And sorry, I'm going to move on, but thank you so much. And Mina, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello teacher, hello everybody. I'm Mina, I'm from Egypt, and I think we want to take advantage fully from of the wind energy.
Hmm. But do you have good places for generating wind where the wind is blowing strongly all the time?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
could.
In desert, we have a very strong sun
Ah,
and we have a very strong wind.
okay, right. I don't know if the sand would be a factor in the desert, but yeah, okay, interesting. Thank you. And have you done any wind
Welcome.
sports? Like, have you gone sailing, for example? Wind powered sports?
No, I
No?
didn't.
Oh, no, no, you haven't? Okay. All
No,
right, great. I thought
no.
that might have been quite common to do on the river. But great, thank you. And I'm going to move to
Welcome.
Pablo. Welcome, Pablo. Where are you connecting from?
Hello, I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Great. And so we're talking about wind power or windy places.
Yes, here in Argentina, the first recourse is aeolic energy.
Really?
Aeolic, right?
Okay.
Aeolic.
Well, no, but
Yes.
we say wind power.
Wind power.
Right.
Wind power. Yes, is the principal. And I'm not sure, but I think that we buy some energy to Brazil.
Oh,
I think, I'm
you
not
buy
sure.
energy from
From
Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh,
I think, I'm not sure. But
okay.
here the principal resource is wind. Here
Really?
in the
Okay.
to have energy the wind, yes. In
Okay.
the Patagonia. Do you know the
Okay.
Patagonia?
Yes, the south.
Is the south, yes, Chubut, Rio Negro, Santa Cruz. There are a lot of, I don't know how to say, uh, a place without mountains.
Yes,
How do you call
okay.
it? Yes, and a
Plains.
lot of wine. Yes, plains, and all the
Okay.
energy comes from there. Yes.
Okay, excellent, great. Because yes, the Patagonia is world famous for being windy. So excellent.
Mm.
And I'd like to say hello to Andre.
Hi,
Welcome. And
thank
so
you.
we're talking about wind power. And so have they been taking advantage of that in Brazil in any locations?
Yes, in the north we have a little places with this technology
Okay.
in the
Because
north.
they're more isolated, so it's better if they can produce their own energy locally.
Yeah, yeah, but in Brazil we have more hydro energy.
Right.
In Brazil, our energy matrix
Sure.
is
And now that people would understand you, but maybe the energy grid or the electrical grid. Look for that word in describing kind of the network, the electrical
yes.
network, right?
Okay.
Is powered with hydroelectric. Yeah,
Yes.
I can understand that with the biggest river in the world being in the country, and yeah,
The
great.
Amazon River.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. And I'm just going to try and say hello to Armando. Armando. Okay, so let's move on. Now, I have the document. So the plan is to read the article first, and then I have a radio broadcast. These are all produced by, I believe it's National Public Radio, which is a public broadcaster funded by the American government. And so so that we can listen to the radio program, which is a little different from the article, and read the transcript. And so I ask everyone, please, to download the document. You'll definitely find it useful. And so what I'd like to do is to start with Andre, and I'm going to bring up the document here. And let's start reading. And I really want all of the students, and Slim has put the direct link to the document in the Verbling chat box. So thanks a lot. And we want students to ask as many questions or make comments, quick questions and quick comments as possible. That'd be great. And so, Andre, could you please read our title? And
Yes. Where is?
yeah, is the sky the limit?
Is the sky the limit for wind power by Christopher Joyce.
And it's a recent story. And here's a picture of a pretty impressive wind farm. Sort of, they look like low-tech turbines, but go ahead, please.
Wind turbines at the San Gorgonio Pass Wind Farm in Whitewater, California.
Yeah, good.
In 2012, wind power is growing faster than ever. Almost half of the new sources of electricity added of the U.S. power grid last year were wind farms. But is the sky the limit? Several scientists now say it's actually possible to have so many turbines that they start to lose power. They steal each other's wind.
Okay, great. Let me help you with turbines.
Turbines.
And faster than ever.
Ever.
And it's almost half of the new sources of electricity.
Okay.
All right, so wind power is growing quickly in the U.S. And the sky is the limit. Now, this is a question, but this phrase is a very common expression where you say there are no limits. So the sky is the limit. The skies is the limit. And so that's what we say. It's a very common expression. But I wonder if they have built too many wind turbines here in this location where they are blocking or stealing each other's wind.
Is
Okay?
in California? California State?
Yes, California State. Right.
What is city?
Sorry?
What city in California? Do you know?
Whitewater. Whitewater would be the name of the city.
Okay.
Now, and this pass, well, this is the name of the wind farm. So San Gorgonio wind farm.
Okay.
But a pass refers to the space between two mountains, and that's an ideal place to build a wind farm. But yeah, okay. Because the wind is sort of channeled. And so I'm going to move on to, we have somebody, Bayar Mamedov? Bakhtiar. Thank you. Yes, great. Where are you connecting from?
Sorry?
Where are you connecting from?
I'm from Cyprus.
Cyprus, okay.
Yeah.
So could you please read this paragraph for us?
What's paragraph?
It begins with sailboat.
Sailboat. Enter sailboat, you'll slow down. Yeah. That's because.
Sorry. No. Sorry. From the top, sailboat captains.
Sailboat. Okay. Sailboat captains expense is similar phenomenon. They call it dirty air. If you're sailing directly downwind of under sailboat, you'll slow down. That's because the boat creates a turbulent vortex of air behind it as the wind slips off its sails. As sailors know, dirty air means less power.
Okay, thank you. Great. And so what we're talking about is, and just the pronunciation of lead in this case, lead boat. And so can people understand the concept when you're sailing? The concept of dirty air?
I understand.
Yeah, great. Okay, so let's, I'm going to move on to, Dem, could you read this next section for us, please?
Yes. From the blades.
The blades.
Okay. The blades on wind turbines made their air too. So engineers space the machines far apart. But when developers want to bring the total number of turbines in the US to more than 200,000, up from about 45,000 today. Would that spread the turbine air far and wide?
Please continue.
Harper, physicist, Harper physicist David Keith says that that's possible. With very large wind farms, he says, we can now see long footprints that extend, in some cases, tens of kilometers downstream, where you have slower moving wind.
Okay, and so thank you. Just turbulent, and just to make sure,
turbulence.
this is 100,000. Okay, and great.
Oh,
And so, yeah, and so what are they talking about? What's the general concept here? Anybody? Could somebody explain this in their own words? We're talking about a limitation or a problem with wind farms, with big wind farms.
I think they are talking about the
Yes.
factors that spoil the wind power.
Yes, good. Okay. So this is a negative problem.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so what is the difficulty? What is the problem?
First problem was if you are sailing right after a ship.
Yeah.
It makes makes this dirty air. It's the wind is not useful because the first ship split over the wind.
Yes. So the wind becomes turbulent and slower. And so turbulence is swirling wind. If you can see my cursor, can you see my cursor, people? No, maybe not. And so you can see that the Irish boat, sailboat, is downwind of the Great Britain boat. And so maybe his wind is being blocked. And then what's the problem with wind farms, big wind farms? And yeah, go ahead, please.
There is the power is not the same, no, because this problem at the dirty air.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And we're talking, or sorry, well, but yeah, but it's not really dirty air, although that's the expression that's used. It's people understand it's not polluted air. I just want to make sure that people understand that. Maybe I'll. Sorry.
Just expression or idiom, not literally.
Exactly. So it's not a literal expression. Sorry, Mina, I'm gonna mute your microphone. Sorry? So what we're talking about is an expression. They don't literally mean dirty air. So what we're talking about is the downwind of the wind farms. So the wind is blowing from this direction, and there is turbulent and slower air downwind. They also use the expression downstream, which usually has to do with water down the river. Okay, but how big are those areas of slower moving wind? How big are those areas?
Tens of kilometers.
Yeah, all right. And so it's in terms of building lots and lots of wind farms in one area, there is a limit. Yeah, if that's 20, 30, 40 kilometers downwind, you have slower moving wind, well, you cannot build another wind farm. Okay, great.
I have a question.
Excellent.
Go
ahead, please.
Downstream means that you are sailing with the stream or against the stream?
Oh, okay. You are downstream is a river. Okay, sorry.
Yes. The river.
It's a little hard. So here's a river.
Yes.
And the water is moving downstream. Yeah? So if you're going downstream, you're going with the water, so it's easy.
All right.
If you're trying to go upstream, you're going against the water.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, excellent. This is why we're reading this, is to learn this kind of vocabulary. Okay, so let's get reading this here. So I'm going to move on to Wen. Could you read this for us, please?
Yeah. Keith is one of the several scientists who have designed computer simulations to see what might happen at huge wind farms. If we're going to scale wind power up to supply a significant fraction of the global energy demand, say 10% of global energy demand, as we get towards mid-century, then these effects begin to matter, he says. Exactly how much they matter we still don't know.
Okay, and so the world is talking about scaling up wind power, increasing it, and getting to 10% of global energy demand. So that's kind of interesting. When is the mid-century? What year would be the mid-century?
2050.
Yeah, exactly. 2050 or 2050. All right, and so they're starting to take a look at this. Okay, and so where are we here? Wen, could you read this next short paragraph for us, please?
Yeah, the answer has become a kind of puzzle for atmospheric scientists. Just what they ask is the saturation point for wind power. That is, when is the wind so dirty that there's no point in building one more turbine?
Okay, and so a saturation point, I don't know if people understand that term. It's not necessarily that common, but it just means for a given area, what would be the saturation point for wind power, meaning what would be the maximum number of turbines you could build and put in place in one area. All right, so great. So I don't think we have to worry about this problem just yet. Juan Manuel, could you read this next selection of text, please?
Okay. So far, that point is hypothetical. To get the saturation, you would need huge wind farms, bigger than any that exist now, with thousands of square miles packed with turbines. For the 45,000 big turbines now spread around the cluster throughout the US, that's not a problem.
Okay, great. And just hypo. When you see this syllable in English, hypothetical.
Hypo.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
All right, and could you read this for us, please? The next paragraph.
Atmospheric scientist Mark Jacobson at Stanford University has done calculations that suggest you'd have to get up into the many millions of turbines before you lose a serious amount of wind. And people are thinking about how to get around the problem.
Okay, good. All right. So we need lots and lots of turbines before we start having this problem. But, efficiency is very important with these wind farms. Just even 1% less wind would be a problem. Slim, could you please read this?
Okay. We found that by spreading out the wind farms themselves, Jacobson says, you reduce this impact of having low energy when you just have one wind farm with lots of turbines. Elizabeth Salerno at the Industries America Wind Energy Association says developers are making sure they are not going to dilute the wind doing that would lose money.
Okay, great. And so I'll stop you there to dilute or dilute.
Dilute.
Dilute the wind. And so, and just the idea of spreading things out. That means building them far apart, not all together. So
Yes.
spreading out the wind farms themselves. But if I'm,
Like,
go ahead, please.
like when we take shower, the water is spreading.
Okay, sure. Yeah. The shower head spreads out the water. It's not exactly how we use it, but that's the idea. But if I was building a wind farm, investing money, I would want to know, I would want a law that says nobody could build another wind farm in front of me, upwind of me. So yeah, great. And so we've got some comments. No, we're good. Let's keep going here. Excellent job. Mina, are you there?
Yes,
Okay, could you read this, please?
sure. Our developers spent a lot of time with experts and atmospheric scientists to ensure that they are putting each individual wind turbine and the entire project in a location and a layout that's going to optimize the result, Salerno says.
Okay, please continue.
But as you build more and more wind farms, spreading them out could present complications too. You can't put them just anywhere. You need to have transmission lines reasonably close. For example, although you get more wind farms, more people are likely to complain about the view, and lots of places simply aren't windy enough to be useful.
Okay, all right. And so having to build them far apart or spread out creates problems. It would be nice if you could build them all in one location, but that's not going to work. That's not realistic. And so you need to think of transmission lines and where people live. They're going to complain about the way it looks. All right, great. And so let's keep going. Good job with your pronunciation. Pablo, could you read this, please?
Yes. Uh, even with those limits, there is plenty of wind to go around, Salerno says. We have enough wind resource in the US onshore and on land to do 10 times over our power production today. That's 10 times all the power produced now in the US from every means, including coal, nuclear, and hydropower.
Okay, so could I get people to put that information in their own words? Pablo, if you want to, but that's a pretty amazing statistic if it is true.
Uh,
What did they just say in the article?
that there is a lot of wind, a lot of places with wind.
Right,
Right?
exactly. A lot of
Uh,
potential. And how much?
Yes, 10 times over our power production today.
Okay, so if you take all the energy, all the electricity produced in the United States right now, that's including everything, coal, nuclear power, hydropower, everything, you could produce 10 times as much with wind power alone. So that's pretty awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. Okay, and
Can
so,
I
yes,
can I make a question?
please.
What does coal mean, or what is it?
Coal.
Or,
Yeah.
Can anybody describe what that is?
It's a fossil
It's
fuel.
Yes,
It's
fossil
like you have to
fuel.
burn it to get power.
Good. And it's a rock,
Okay.
a black
It's not-
rock. Hmm.
Yes.
It's made of
Yeah.
carbon.
Carbon.
Yeah, it's right. Great. Okay, so that's coal. That's the word that we use to describe that. Okay, good
Okay.
question.
It's a kind of field stock.
Well, let me see. I would say it's a source of fuel, but it's a fossil fuel.
Yes, fossil fuel.
It's, I guess it was created in a similar way to oil, perhaps, just kind of a solid form of oil. Maybe that's not correct, but Andre, could you please read this next paragraph for us?
Yes. Sarleno says no one expects wind power to come anywhere close to that. For one thing, the nation's electricity grid runs more reliably if
Reliably?
reliably with utilities can draw of different kind of energy that can back each other up. When the wind isn't blowing, the grid can draw on natural gas or nuclear power. Or if natural gas prices spike, people can use more wind.
Okay. And so just this word is important. Rely. That
Reliably.
syllable is lie. So reliably. To rely on something. Dependably. Well, but this is the big problem with wind. So, what is the big problem with wind power?
How can I say?
And anybody can help here. Like, what's the problem?
It's so
It's like
difficult to develop this kind of technology.
Well, I'm not. Well, that's not what they're talking about in the article, though. It may be expensive to buy the technology, but what are we talking about? What's the big problem with wind? It's a problem with solar energy too.
And
It
this
depends on the
energy
place you
is it reliable?
use.
Reliable, yeah, and it depends on the location, right? That's very important.
The environment, I think.
But then, there's a real basic problem with wind and solar.
It depends on the place, on the place you install.
That's not what I'm getting at. Gwen,
Oh.
are you going to make a comment?
I think that the problem is what if the wind isn't blowing?
Yeah, okay.
You have no wind to produce power.
Yeah, right. And so it's not constant the wind is not necessarily blowing all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, are we ever going to be powered 100% with wind power? Probably not. But, it could be an important part of the electricity production for the United States. It's not totally consistent. It's good and then not so good. All right, and what I'd like to do is just to move this down here, and let's read the final paragraph. And so, Armando, are you there? No? Okay.
Teacher,
Yeah, yes. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, but what does it mean back each other up?
Yeah, good. So what does back each other up mean? Can somebody describe that?
Can I?
Yes, go ahead, Wayne.
It means to support each other.
Yeah, to support. And so, but when? To support in which way?
To have different alternatives. In this case, would be when you have a place with no wind,
Yes.
and there is another place. It might be another place with a lot of wind.
Yeah.
That backs you up.
Yeah. So Quinn said it's a positive way. You're talking about, when if there's solar power, you need something to back it up when the sun goes down. Great. Okay. Slim, did you have a comment?
To complete each other.
Well, okay, to provide sort of complete coverage. Yeah. Consistent energy production all the time, 24/7.
Reliable.
Yeah, reliable, 24/7. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And Dem, could you finish reading the article for us? Hello, Dem. Are you there?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now, did you already read?
Yeah.
Some?
At the moment, we provide.
Go ahead, please. Dem, are you there?
Okay.
Yeah.
At the moment, wind provides about 3.5% of our electricity in the U.S. The Wind Association says a reasonable goal is to raise that to 20% of the nation's electricity needs by 2030. That would mean building maybe 75,000 more wind turbines, Salerno says, and not building them all in one place.
Right, yeah. Not building them all in one place. Okay, great. And so you can see on the document that the text continues, but this is the transcript. And so this is what I'm hoping that people have downloaded, because I have a radio broadcast. Now, this is National Public Radio from the United States. Now, this is fairly advanced, so you're going to need the audio listening and the transcript reading. So just give me 1 minute to get this playing and be ready to read and listen, hopefully from your own document.
Power is growing faster than ever. The latest numbers show that almost half the new sources of electricity added to the U.S. power grid last year were wind farms. And that's led several scientists to wonder, is the sky the limit? But it turns out there's a problem. It's actually possible to have so many turbines that they start to lose power by stealing each other's wind. NPR's Christopher Joyce reports on scientists now trying to find that saturation point.
There's a thing about wind that sailors call dirty air. If you're sailing directly downwind of another sailboat, you'll slow down. That's because the lead boat creates a turbulent vortex behind it as the wind spills off its sails. Dirty air means less power. The blades on a wind turbine make dirty air too, so engineers space them far apart. But wind developers want to build over 100,000 turbines in the U.S. alone. Would that spread dirty air far and wide?
Very large wind farms, we can now see long footprints that extend in some cases tens and tens of kilometers downstream where you have slower moving wind.
That's Harvard physicist David Keith. He's one of several scientists who've designed computer simulations to see what might happen at huge wind farms.
If we're going to scale wind power up to supply a significant fraction of the global energy demand, say 10% of global energy demand as we get towards mid-century, then these effects begin to matter. Exactly how much they matter, we still don't know.
The answer has become a kind of puzzle for a group of atmospheric scientists. Just what, they ask, is the saturation point for wind power, when the wind is so dirty that there's no point in building one more turbine. So far, that point is hypothetical. To get to saturation, you'd need huge wind farms, thousands of square miles of turbines. With 45,000 big turbines now in the U.S., that's not a problem. Atmospheric scientist Mark Jacobson at Stanford University says turbines would have to get up into the many millions before you lose a serious amount of wind. And people are thinking how to get around the problem.
We found that by spreading out the wind farms themselves, then you reduce this impact of having low energy when you just have one huge wind farm with lots of turbines.
Elizabeth Salerno at the industry's American Wind Energy Association says wind developers are making sure they're not going to dilute the wind. Doing that would just lose money.
Our developers spend a lot of time with experts and atmospheric scientists to ensure that they are siting each individual wind turbine and the entire project in a location and a layout that's going to optimize their result.
But as you build more and more wind farms, spreading them out could present complications. You need to have transmission lines reasonably close by. As you get more wind farms, more people are likely to complain about their view, and lots of places aren't windy enough to build anyway. Even with those limits, though, Salerno says there's plenty of wind to go around.
We have enough wind resource in the U.S. onshore, on land, to do 10 times over what our power production today.
That's 10 times all the power produced now in the U.S. by coal, nuclear power, hydro, everything. Salerno says no one expects wind power to come anywhere close to that. For one thing, the nation's electricity grid runs more reliably if utilities can draw on different kinds of energy that can back each other up. At the moment, wind provides about 3.5% of all U.S. electricity. The Wind Association says a reasonable goal is to raise that to 20% of our electricity needs by 2030. She says that would mean building maybe another 75,000 wind turbines, and not building them all in one place. Christopher Joyce, NPR News.
All right. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Great. There's a bit of a delay with that. So good. How did you do on being able to understand the dialogue?
Yes.
Very much.
Okay. And then I was just thinking, I think it was Mina that asked about to back up something. That is to have an extra copy. So we also use it that way. You need to back up your files, means to have a second emergency copy of the computer files. So yeah,
Yes.
great. All right, and so
One more.
sorry, when?
Yeah, when I listened to the podcast, yeah,
Okay.
the word turbine was pronounced turbine as well.
Yes, and that did not sound right at all. So I disagree with the radio broadcast. I don't think people are pronouncing it as turbines. Now, in places, some of the religions in India where cloth wrapped around their hair and the top of their head, and that I think is referred to as a turban. And so I would say turbines, wind turbines. Okay. But I noticed that. Thank you for bringing that up. I already had forgotten. Now, what I wanted to do is to bring up the document again. And so I think that this picture is kind of neat. And so I just wanted to ask people, what would you think of living near this? So would you complain about this as being ugly and blocking your view? Or would you be, worried that it was going to make noise? Or what do you think? And Andre, could you maybe give us a comment of
About this picture?
yeah, and wind power, wind turbines in general, or wind turbines in general. Would you support them being built near your home? Or like if you had a house on the beach, would you be angry if they put something like this in the ocean? Or
I don't. No, I think I support this idea because I support clean energy in general.
Okay.
And but the problem is economically, financially. I think it's a little complicated to how can I say to implant this kind of technology in many places.
Okay, to install maybe or
Yes.
construct. Yeah. Okay. No, it's a very expensive investment. Yeah, for sure. Gwen, what do you think? What would be your personal reaction?
I personally think it would be okay if we have one or two, or not many places like this, because my country has long coastlines, as I said. So several places like this to serve the community is no-brainer.
Yeah,
Like it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they
You
should
wouldn't want a
not.
huge wind farm.
Yeah, they should
Built.
not build these wind farms like in front of the beach. Like there are a lot of other places where we cannot, swim, or where it is not a beach. We can build wind farms there.
Okay. Yeah, and it wouldn't just be the ocean. I might be talking about if you have a house and there is a view of the mountains and they build a wind farm between you and the mountains, would you think that that was ugly? Would you be angry?
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's too much. Yeah, it will be overwhelmed, but just
Yeah,
one or
okay.
two is okay.
Okay, great. Juan Manuel, what would be your personal opinion of having some of this technology installed where you live?
I was listening what they said, and I agree with them. It's
Mhm.
good to have a clean energy, but on the other hand, it's kind of depressive to see so many turbines
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I find them sort of beautiful, but yeah, they're definitely not natural. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Excellent. And Slim, a comment from you, please.
Yes, actually, I think they are not so ugly. I have passed some time one in the one trip. I see it farm like that, but it seems very beautiful with the nature. But in the mountain, because man, I don't think they will be installed or built in the near my house because with the building they will stop the air and they will have dirty air,
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
and they will not turn uh, good.
Yeah,
Don't
they would not turn
very
well
yeah.
powerfully. Yeah.
Well, no,
I
yes.
wanted just to say something quickly. Has anyone heard of some of these very tall buildings in cities, skyscrapers, that
Yes.
have one of these wind generating turbines at the top? Just like
Yes,
Slim
in
said,
Dubai, I
there
think.
are no buildings blocking the wind. It's up high above the city. So yeah. Mina, a comment from you?
Yes. Well, if I told you to choose between two houses, the first house is near a nuclear, facility to
Okay.
produce power, and the
Atomic
other
nuclear.
house is yeah, is like visual polluted.
Right.
There is a lot of wind powers devices. So which one would you choose?
Yeah, sort of visual pollution. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and then these thermoelectric plants. I think they're called thermoelectric plants, which burn coal or they burn diesel fuel. Yeah, and I would not
Or
want to live
nuclear.
near one of them. Yeah. Well, I definitely would not want to live near a nuclear plant, but yeah. But
You will
then
be paid
yeah, but then you
for
need to.
living.
Sorry?
You will be paid for living near that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Very cheap houses. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but the problem is you need to live a very long distance away from the nuclear reactor to be totally safe. But
I think
yeah,
there is another for that to as safety to for in case of destruction or something like that.
a disaster, right?
Disaster, yes.
So they would evacuate that area.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And Andre, another comment? Anything?
It's okay.
Yeah, but just quickly, Brazil, is there talk of having to build more hydroelectric projects, or
Yes.
really does Brazil have enough electricity?
In the North region, now our government is building a new hydroelectric
Mm-hmm.
in
Okay.
near Amazon forest.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the economy is growing so much. When
Yes.
do you have a final comment?
Yeah, I think my country also like try to draw on different sources
Mm-hmm.
of energy, so that we don't have to like in only like one method of producing an energy. I think that's the best way.
And the economy is growing very quickly in Vietnam, isn't it?
Yeah, but it slows. Yeah, it slows
Oh,
down
it
a
has
little bit
slowed down.
these
Yeah,
years.
like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it has
hmm
slowed down.
But there's talk about needing more electricity. Okay.
Yes. Actually, yeah, we've been in the lack of electricity
Okay.
over a long period of time, but recently I think the situation is getting better.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. So you've been lacking it. Slim, a final comment from you, please.
Now, actually, I am interested about renewable energy, and I have a chemical and process engineering in that field. But I think we have, as a conclusion, we have to use nuclear energy sometime or other fossil fuels to complete the part of renewable. There is no renewable energy. I think the only one is I don't know, geothermal. Is it correct?
Geothermal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The only one in
good
the
potential.
lab.
Okay,
Nice.
great. And a final comment from Mina.
I wish that Egypt take advantage of solar and wind power.
Yeah. Well, it's happening. It's now you have hydroelectric power.
Yeah, we have the high dam.
Okay, and that is still producing enough electricity, or there is a shortage of electricity?
No, every day there is a power cut.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. And thermal solar, Slim, what did you want to say
Yes.
there?
Yes, it's new technology. I think useful for solar. That's make heating the water under 1,000 degrees Celsius. It's maybe it can be the solution for reliability, but maybe.
Well, I think it is the solution, and so we just need to do it. But great, excellent. Thank you so much for your participation. Excellent comments. Good work, and I'll talk to you soon. And remember, come to my Facebook page and post a specific idea about a topic that you find interesting, and I will look up some materials and do a class on it. So I hope to hear from you all.
Okay.
Take care.
See
Thank you so
you.
much.
Take care,
Thank you.
Geoff.
See you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye, guys.
Good work.
Good morning.